Hello students. The last topic of this chapter is RPL matrices. RPL defines a large and flexible set of new matrices and constraints for routing. Okay, so there are total 8 matrices which they have explained. The first one is expected transmission count, that is ETX. So this expected transmission count discrete value to the number of transmissions a node expects to make to deliver a packet. For example, if there are 10 nodes, it will assign a discrete value to the number of transmissions. See, if you want to send a message from node 1 to node 10, it will assign some value, that is expected value for the transmissions to deliver that particular packet from node 1 to node 10. So this is called as expected transmission count. Next is hop count. The hop count is nothing but it tracks the number of nodes traversed in a particular path. So typically a path with a lower hop count is chosen. So as usual, a shortcut path is chosen. Okay. Next is latency. Latency, it varies depending on power conservation. Paths with a lower latency are preferred. So obviously with a lower latency, that path is chosen. The next is link quality level. So link quality level is nothing but it measures the reliability of a link by taking into account packet error rates, and packet error rates may be caused by some factors such as signal attenuation or interference. So signal attenuation is nothing but it lowers the strength of the signal, that is called as signal attenuation. Next is link color. So it allows manual influence of routing by administratively setting values to make a link more or less desirable. So these set values can be either statistically or dynamically adjusted for specific traffic types. Next is node state and attributes. So here it identifies the nodes that function as traffic aggregators and the nodes that are being impacted by high workloads. So traffic aggregators are nothing but it will see where actually the traffic is caused, and it also identifies the nodes which are given very high workloads. High workloads could be indicative of nodes that have incurred high CPU or low memory states. So basically nodes that are aggregators are preferred over nodes experiencing high workloads. Next is the node energy. It avoids nodes with low power. So a battery powered node that is running out of energy can be avoided, and the life of that node and the network can be prolonged, or it will last long. So if you choose a low power, and so that the battery powered node is running out of energy, then it can be avoided. Okay, so that the node or a network can be prolonged. The last one is the throughput. So throughput provides the amount of a node link, which is nothing but the amount of throughput for a particular node link, and very often the nodes conserving power use low throughput